Hey folks, JD here, and it's with a big thank you to GearBest for sending me this. This is the GlobalDrone 89, the GD89 drone. Now, this is a newer drone to hit the market. Let's just open this up. I'm going to try and see if I'm going to keep this on camera so you can see exactly what's in here as I take this out. Sometimes I like to do unboxings and show you everything. Other times I like to just get everything out if there's a lot of parts and rearrange everything, because I don't really have that much room to get everything set up right then. So let's move everything out of the way. So you don't really get a lot in that box. You just get enough. Let's just put all this to one side. Let's just go through a couple of things you have. So you have your software installation. This is for your QR codes for the app inside there. As well as you've got recommended configurations, different phone models and how it'll work. That's quite neat. And then you also get your pack of accessories here, which is a USB charger, micro USB for the battery, as well as a spare propeller and a screwdriver there, as well as you get a couple of other manuals inside there, as well as best ways to charge your batteries. So have a quick read of that as well before you take everything out. And you also get your propeller guards should you want to use them. It's not something that I ever use, so I'm going to put those to one side. Righty-ho. Let's have a gander at this, shall we? So, 3 guesses what this is imitating. This is obviously a Mavic clone, but in toy quadcopter format. So let's have a little look. Let's open this up. Ooh, that's the first thing that I don't really like. Okay, I'll come back to that in a second. And what that is there's no definite clicks. Look at that. There's no definite clicks. If I stop, the arm stops. It doesn't automatically click in. It's not spring loaded. The back is a little bit tougher, but still, see, I don't have to put that much pressure on it. It doesn't automatically extend, so that is not none of these arms are spring loaded. That's a little bit better. No. Let's turn it around, let's give it a little bit of gravity on its side. That one will click in. No, so it's the left hand side that clicks in, the right hand side doesn't. Okay, we'll have to see what happens when we come to fly it, because I don't know, I don't like that at all. Right, okay, the camera. The camera at the front is obviously meant to replicate the Hasselblad camera on the Mavic Pro 2. And this little camera is the 1080p version inside here. I believe as well, let's just put that down for 2 seconds. I believe this is the 2.4 gigahertz model rather than the 5G model. Let's just have a quick little look. Well, it doesn't really say. All it says on the box here, as you can see, I've got the black version and it's altitude hold as well as 1080p Wi-Fi. Now, whether the Wi-Fi itself is 5G or 2.4, then I shall let you know underneath this video. I believe it's going to be 2.4. I do not think this is going to be a 5G quadcopter. Moving up from this little 1080p camera, you've got your 2 LEDs here. These should be bright white. Coming across the top there, you've got this quite nice dome. And then working your way towards the back, which is where you have your on and off button here, which is where you also have your LED lights at the back there to show you exactly how full the battery is, as well as you have your micro USB port there for charging. Now, oh, there is one other thing I've seen here. Can I take this battery out? Yes, I can. So there we go. This battery here, this is a 3.7 volt, 1200 milliamp hour battery. It should charge in 150 minutes and give you a flight time of 15 minutes. Now, that would be quite nice. Let's see exactly how much we do actually get from that, because I'm hoping we are going to get, this is extremely light, we may well very well get the 15 minutes of flight from that. It's quite nice to actually have the LED indicators at the back, as well as to have the on and off button at the back rather than having it on the top. The overall stability of this quad, look at it, it's very thin. You can push it without there being any issue. It does deform slightly. I don't like very rigid quads. I do like quads to have a little bit of movement. This one has got a little bit of movement in it. As you can see, as we work our way towards the back, you've got 2 stands there just that work in unison with the ones on the propeller mounts. on the engine mount rather, and that just gives you your base for landing your quad down there, same distance from the front as to these back ones. Working our way forward, we have optical flow. Now, I'm a big optical flow fan. I do sometimes prefer that to GPS, just because as much as I love to fly GPS, I do prefer to fly quadcopters, which are less technically advanced, which you need a bit more skill for flying, and I do like optical flow as well. I think it's come to the market a little bit too late for a lot of quadcopters where I think they would have needed it, but I'm glad that they are still churning out quads with the optical flow sensor built into the bottom. Don't forget that is just a very low resolution camera. It just has a little look on the bottom to see exactly where the quadcopter is on the floor, and then maintains its position based on the photograph it's picking up based on the floor there. So normally, I don't know if it's going to be the case with this, we'll soon try it out when we take it out for a little flight. Usually over 10 or 15 meters, the optical flow system in some quads can disconnect. We'll have to double check and see whether this is one that happens to. And then we're coming on to the motors. These motors are standard brushed motors. You're not going to have anything brushless inside here. In saying that, it has got quite a bit of aeration to it, so I should hopefully find that these aren't going to be too hot. As for weight, now weight wise, this is going to be our flying weight because we have the battery built into the back as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold these arms up just to make it a bit easier for putting it on my scales there. 111 grams for this beauty. Now, I say beauty, honestly, my first impressions are not great. They really aren't great. The camera looks awful. The whole overall look of this quad just does not fill me with a lot of confidence. These arms don't click into place properly. On the way that we're looking at this now, the right hand side they do. The left hand side, they don't. There's no spring there, or if there is, it's so loose, it's unbelievable. Things that this quad has got going in its favour: it's extremely small, fits in the palm of your hand. Hopefully that battery life is going to be 15 minutes, in which case it's got a lot going for it just in the battery life. The actual range that it has apparently on paper is 100 metres. I hope it's a bit more than that, because 100 metres is not going to be far when you consider the field that I fly in is best part of 250. So we'll have a little look and see what we get with that when we take her out anyway, and we fly her in a couple of minutes. Before we go that far, let's have a quick little look at this transmitter. So a very similar style to a lot of transmitters that we have seen. As you can see, we have a load of buttons with a load of different pictures on them. So let's start off. We have one key takeoff. What is that? Optical flow sensor maybe? It's got a picture of a finger, see? And then a load of different waves from underneath it. We'll come back to that. So we've got reset, we've got trim left, trim right, auto takeoff, auto landing, we've got compass, you've got your on and off button there as well, you've got your emergency stop, you've got your speed at the top here, 3 speed modes, single clicks, and then you have your 360 flips then on the right. No buttons at the back, but we have got a little screwdriver there. This particular transmitter takes 3 AA batteries. It does not allow USB charging, so ensure that the batteries you're using here are fully charged or shop bought before you take the quadcopter out. There are no buttons either on the transmitter, on the analog sticks. As for the stick movements, they feel as if they've got very strong springs in them, so they are going to be, they move very strangely. They are very, very forceful in their movements. As for these are clearly going to be fake. Look at that, there's nothing in there whatsoever. No cable, no antenna, absolutely nothing. They are useless, absolutely. I'm not going to snap them off. Normally I snap these off the transmitters. This transmitter feels a little bit flimsy, so I'm not going to snap them off, because I may actually damage the transmitter in more ways than one by getting rid of those this time. So sorry folks if you were expecting me to do that. And then at the bottom you have your spring-loaded FPV boom there, just so you can attach your phone and you can obviously relay FPV back from your quadcopter to your device. So that is the transmitter. It feels okay, you know. It does feel a little bit thinner plastic than the usual sort of transmitters that we get. It's got so many more buttons on it, it's unbelievable. So we're going to put that to one side. Now as for your accessory pack, we've been through that, but it's these manuals I'm intrigued about, because there seems to be a lot of them. So what have we got? There we are, brilliant. 2.4 gigahertz, fantastic. So you've got a larger A5 manual and you've got a tiny manual as well. Are they the same? Yes, they seem to be the same. So you've just got a large one and a small one. So I'd have a read of it anyway, folks, all jokes aside, so you can actually pick up on exactly what this manual is trying to tell you. Best way, the safest way to fly, as well as how to charge your batteries and quick start and the operation of your quadcopter. So to be fair, it's worth having a read anyway. Now then, there's going to be less videos on this week, because this isn't a technologically advanced quadcopter, so there's not going to be the usual 4 or 5 videos and then final thoughts. I'll fly this a few times. I'm hoping to take it out for about 2 or 3 flights, and then what I'll do this unboxing and flight, and then I'll do a final thoughts video then after 2 or 3 flights to let you know exactly what I think about this, and let me go over the footage and have a bit of time with it before I come to my conclusion. Alright folks, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut up. Let's take this thing out now for a flight. Okay folks, let's give this a shot. So we have got a little bit of wind here today. It's not a great amount of breeze, but I think it's going to be a bit too much for this guy. We'll give it a shot anyway, and we'll see how far we get. If I do have to discontinue the flight just based on the weather, then so be it. So what we're going to do first is turn on the quad. So click and hold, and then all lights come on. Then turn on the transmitter. Single one up and one down to bind. Now we're bound. Now we're going to just check that the quadcopter is broadcasting there we are, broadcasting a Wi-Fi network, which is exactly what it's doing. Connect to it, and then once we've connected to it, then we're going to open up the HFun app. I hope this is HFun. There we go. And then we're going to click start. Now I'm going to go over with you a couple of things that I got wrong in the unboxing. I said this was auto take off, auto landing. It's not. Your auto take off and auto landing is this button up here that I had no idea what it did. Your reset button is also your calibrate button, and these 2 buttons here, likewise the ones on the left hand side, these 4 are your calibrate, your trim buttons rather. So if you notice the quad is lifting too much to the left or isn't going where you should, then you can alter its trim settings using those buttons there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to calibrate this quad now. So I'm going to bring it a little bit more central. I'm going to alter that lens a little bit so it's pointing down a little bit. Before I do anything, I'm going to record my screen, just so that I can, at least if we don't get anything exporting directly to the phone, at least I can get some sort of screen information. Right, okay, we look like we're all good. Yeah, we look like we're all good, apart from when I pressed the back button, and then clearly we weren't. So with that, I'm going to click calibrate. 1 key calibrate, should be that. And it says you should see, let's turn around, let's have a look again. Yeah, the LEDs on the front, the blue LEDs, they flash continuously to let you know that the calibration process has started. When they stop flashing, the calibration process has stopped. So with that, I'm going to click the 1 key takeoff, and that is so much quieter than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so we have got optical flow. Let's take her up a little bit higher, because that does sometimes need a bit of height in order to calibrate properly. Okay. That is doing a darn sight better than I thought it was going to. Alrighty-ho. Do you know what? Let's not talk about it. Let's see it. So, as you'd remember in the unboxing, one thing I'm really not keen on, and that is the... Oh my god, right, that's in speed... That was in speed mode 1? Wow, alright, that's... I've not yet flown a quadcopter that wants to take my face off in speed mode 1. Oh, is it a gradual speed mode? Because the more I push down on the analog stick, the faster it goes. So even though it has got a button, I wonder whether it's more of a gradual speed mode, like the more percentage you increase on the throttle, or on the positive pitch rather, the further you go. Am I gonna add some trim? I don't know, it's just trying to find its center for the second. I don't want to screw that up. I was going to add a little bit of trim coming back to the right because it was moving over to the left, and I wanted to just trim that out. But he seems to have sorted himself out. Let's have a quick little shufties. Yeah, it seems to have. Do you know what? I'm going to get some video on the record as well. Why not? Right. Okay, so I'm not going to be going any further than 15%, 20% on the positive pitch. No more than that, because whenever I went a little bit more than that, he, or it, however you want to refer to them, just kind of was going to dive bomb into the floor. This is a crazy character to control, because I've now lost, look at that, I've now lost full control. Yeah, and I've lost Wi-Fi. I have lost full control of the quad. So if I turn off the transmitter, because I couldn't do anything with it, as you would see, is its fail-safe to automatically land. I'm going to try and reconnect, and I still don't have anything. 1 key landing, emergency stop. Nope, I am bound, but at the same time, I don't have anything. What about, yeah, I have it on Wi-Fi. So my transmitter has totally disconnected, and I have, see, I have nothing. Throttle should be going up. Positive pitch should be going out. Negative pitch should be coming back. I've lost 1 bar of battery. Oh well, lol. But I have control via Wi-Fi. Yeah, because everybody wants that. Oh, okay, maybe I don't anymore. Let's stop that. There we go. Well, you saw exactly what happened there. I turned it round, a bit of positive pitch, and then turned it around again, and it flew off like a crazed madman backwards. So you know what, I'm going to bring this to a very abrupt close. Sorry folks, but I'm not flying something this dangerous when I've lost my transmitter signal, but I've still got a full bind LED to notify me that it is still bound. I am not entertaining this one more at all. No way. I was astounded at how that first took off. I thought, wow, I've really counted my chickens here. And what we've been flying, oh, there we go. Now I have full Wi-Fi again. Now it's reconnected. Well, sorry, Mr. Man, that is the last time I'm taking you up with your piercing blue eyes. There is no way at all that I'm doing anything more with this quad. Quite simply because if I've lost transmission and I had no way of controlling him other than Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi failed, then my secondary option is dead, my primary option is dead. Emergency stop wouldn't work. Emergency stop here worked, but at the time I don't know whether it was emergency stop that activated when it was, whether it was me activating emergency stop to stop the quad, or if I just went out of Wi-Fi reception and the quad just dived anyway. But because I lost transmission, I should have been able to at least click emergency stop for it to come down. I turned off the quad, turned off the transmitter, turned it back on mid-flight. Usually turning it off after 5 or 10 seconds, the quad will lower itself. This one doesn't. Emergency stop, when I turned it back on and rebound, it bound, no problem. Couldn't do anything, but fortunately, in the fact that when I had turned this off, I then gained control of the Wi-Fi, which, as its primary transmission, as its primary control method. Not too bad. I'm glad I could have controlled it on that, but that failed. So yeah, there's just no way. So sorry folks, I'm going to bring that to an end, because quite literally this guy's an idiot. So, and I'm not talking about me, you funny guys in the comments. There we are, let's turn you off. Yeah, there is no way at all I'm flying that. I'm not even flying that in a controlled area as in my house. Quite honestly, there's just not happening. And the sad fact is, it looks like the video is actually pretty good, which is really annoying, but we'll see in the video. So I'm not going to do the 2 videos I had specified. It is just going to be this one, and this one is do not buy. Stay away from this. I don't like it. Just simply based on the fact that, well, you can see everything that happened in this flight, and if you still buy it after all of this, then I'm sorry. I honestly don't think you should. I really don't think you should. Right then folks, I'm going to leave that there. Once again, sorry about that, but there's nothing more I can do, and there's nothing more that I'm willing to do with this guy. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.